Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. We start our third video, which will contain GSF, but we will concentrate on how this GSF can be combined with another framework that accesses a database. So then, if we go back to the entire architecture, now from the XHTML, we go to the managed bin, and before the managed bin gives the result to the display in XHTML, we go to the database using AGBs. We have already studied AGBs in the past. Now we are going simply to see how all these frameworks, the two frameworks, all the technologies can be combined through two examples. So as you can see, this is, I suppose that I'm having access to a database that contains a product table that has only an ID and a description. Okay, so you can see that I have an index XHTML, I have the product managed bin, and then I have, if you remember, when I use AGBs, I have entities and I have session. Since I have only one product table, then I have my product entity and I have my session here. The session will contain the product facade and the abstract facade, if you remember. And then the product managed bin will have to talk with this AGB's content. So in my product managed bin, instead of, if you remember, having to load everything from the list as an array list, now in my managed bin, I use the AGB product facade. Okay, and then in one of the methods that I call, for example, here, load all products, what I do, I use my product facade to find all the entries I have in my product table, which then populates the product list, and then I return this product facade dot find all, or I can also return this product list. Of course, when I have my data table, it could be either in the H or in the P, then the value would be the product managed bin load all products. I call this method that populates my my data table. So it's very simple. Here is the demo. So I have an index.xhtml, and what is the most important part is the data table that is populated thanks to the call of the managed bin with the call of the method load all products. And of course, I simply display my product ID and my product description. Here, I am no longer using the labels, but you can, of course, use them. In my source package, I have the control, which is the managed bin. So we see this is the managed bin that uses the AGB. Okay, and then in load all products, I call the find all. In my model, I have the entities and I have the session as we did before. If you remember, the product, this is an entity. You remember I have the entity, the annotation entity, and you see that this entity is synchronized with the table that is named product. Okay, it is called ORM, Object Relational Mapping, that supports these three named queries. But also we have the product facade. If you remember, product facade which extends the abstract facade, in which we will find the different CRUD methods such as the create, the edit, the remove, the find all, etc. Okay, so very simple. If you want to execute this, you will run it and you will see the list of all your products that will appear. So it's very simple to combine the two frameworks. Now, if we go back to the slides, there is another important thing that is given and provided in NetBeans, which is the complete generation of all the codes concerning the EGBs and also the GSF. And it gives you automatically a complete application from scratch simply by clicking on the different buttons. But of course, you need to understand the different coding that is generated. But at least you can use part of it or use it at all. So you can see that you have, first of all, your model. Here you have both the product and the product facade with the abstract facade. You can, of course, divide it to entities and to session. But then you have the managed bean that is called product controller. And then you have in your product as web pages, you have the different XHTML. You have the list, the view, the edit, and the create. You have also some other resources that are used for such as the CSS that is used here to show the different colors, etc. So you can see, for example, the list.xhtml shows this page, while the edit.xhtml shows this page with different buttons. So I'm going to show you how it is done. So if you go here, you have your web pages, you have your source containing the managed bean and containing also your model. So it's very simple. You start a new program. You say that is a web application. Of course, you need to specify that is GSF. I didn't say this before, but you can add as components primary faces directly here in your program. So here we are not going to use it. You click on finish. I'm going to close all these. And then you go to source package. You can add two folders. One folder that we call control and the other package that we call model. In the model, I will start calling entity from database. So you select your data, your schema. Okay, I'm going to use, let's say I use client in this case. I click on add. I click on next. Nothing to change here. You can change in general. I use list instead of collection. I click on finish. So you will see that in your model, you will have your client.java. Then if you click simply or GSF pages from entity classes, GSF pages, you say that you want it for the client, you add, click on next, click, you may specify the session bean. Session bean should be in model and your GSF classes package will be in control. Click on finish. So you see that I have here the client, let's say client. This is an entity talking with the client. Okay, this is your client facade, and this is our abstract facade. And automatically it has added my client control, which is managed bean, and also we have the index.xhtml, and you have as client the different XHTML. So everything is generated automatically. You can see from this example, for example, if I run it, so I think it's the index who is shown at the beginning. Let's see the configuration file. Let's see the web XML. So it is the index. So here is the index. You click to show all products. So you have the list. You can view one item, or you can edit this item if you want to change something. Suppose I change this one. I click on save. You will see now product was successfully updated. I can create a new product. I can show all product items, etc. I come back to the index. So you can see that thanks to what you have in NetBeans, you can very simply generate all your application. So here ends my 3 videos about GSF. Finally, if you want more information about GSF, you can simply go to one of these 3 links. You have javaserverfaces.org, which is the official website of GSF. You have the GSF from Oracle, and you have other tutorials if you want to follow some of the interesting tutorials more detailed about GSF. Finally, in terms of exercises, you can try one of these different programs that we have studied. You can try to implement all of them. And thank you very much.